Friends, welcome to Dawn Agreement, a D&D5E actual play. This is the Book of Tavros, Chapter 4. Tavros, you've been left without much. I mean, there's so much to do and there's so much to see, and yet the Bandit King Ragos and how much you know about him may be a vast difference.
Indeed.
Now, I recall perhaps you have asked people about Ragos, and that was where we left off.
Yeah, I had, after clearing out the tithe barn and talking to the townsfolk a little bit, Tavros had gone around and asked about what they knew about this bandit King Ragos.
All right, so some people say show, don't tell, but I'm just going to tell and not show.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say that line, but they don't really understand what it means. And that you don't always have to do it. What happened to your camera, by the way? You're like, I get part of your mouth. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All right, I don't know. I'm gonna see. The thing is, if I adjust it manually here, it'll adjust it for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I'll do it.
I look normal in my screen.
I know. I blame somebody else. Okay. All right. Now we can see your shoulders.
All right.
All right. So, with a bit of talking around town, you find that Ragos has a number of, I wouldn't call them loyal followers, but people who've heard of his exploits and who would rather him than anyone else. So, this town of Sulphur used to be part of, I wouldn't say it's part of Silvermarsh directly, but they always enjoyed a bit of protection and trade from them. Even though it's quite far, I mean, it's almost as far to Silvermarsh from Sulphur as it is to Silvermarsh to any of the other city-states. That said, the Empire does like to keep that trade route to Bogfalder secure. And so there's always been this understanding that if something happened in Sulphur, the Acasian Empire would protect them. During the drought war with Carcass, however, this almost Maginot line of defense started happening where both sides kept leaving a minimum amount of troops on a front line and then rushing to try to make it towards the mountains so that each side would be able to trade with the dwarves, or at the very least, prevent the dwarves from joining the conflict. And so it was just a lot of small battles in towns like Sulphur and Timony, Amalgation, all around here, where, you know, like two squads would show up, one from each side, and battle it out, and then, you know, the town would be expected to take care of whoever was left, right?
Right.
It made people here kind of upset, and Ragos has offered a solution that the towns in this area shouldn't depend on Carcass or the Orcasian Empire. They should unite together. They have the supplies, they have the trade routes, they will gain the respect of the dwarves, and through force, they'll gain the respect of Carcass and the Empire. No longer will these people, we have to bow down to these southerners who have no respect for our lands and who have trespassed on us for many years now, who have brought their wars onto our front door, who don't respect our ways and our culture. So Ragos is getting this kind of grassroots populist thing, and it hasn't settled in big here in Sulphur, but it's growing. The people here are like, maybe that's not so bad. Maybe Ragos has a point. You get a lot of rumors about Ragos himself, that he is an incredibly powerful mystic who can use some form of unusual magic, that he can move around the battlefield as if he is water, that he can command a great and powerful spirit to fight alongside him. There's really not a lot of information about this spirit, however. People are just like, yeah, I heard he has a spirit that he fights with. And you're like, yeah, what's the spirit like? And they're just like, well, you know, I heard from a traitor.
Yeah.
You know, he was dying after being stabbed in the gut by some bandits. It just babbled whatever you could remember, that sort of thing. The only thing unifying about Ragos that you can find from everybody is that he lives somewhat further north. I don't know what you want to do with all that, Tavros.
Yeah. That's interesting information. Is there a town elder or sort of council here that I could speak to?
There was. They were all killed.
I see.
You know, when what's his name? Gastolfo? Yeah, Gastolfo showed up, and you know, he's something of a murderous psychopath. I mean, he did kill 2 men by falling on them with a flaming sword and driving them into the ground. So
this is
not someone who commonly, I mean, he defiled a holy shrine. These people, you know, their unification level's pretty low.
Speaking of this tithe barn, where do these tithes usually go?
So the tithes head into the Holy Kingdom of Carcass and beyond. The tithes head to the Valley Grave and then the Temple of the Final Journey. So if you're following along here, they could just keep traveling east and north until they reach the Great Temple, where it's basically the first place sunlight touches the continent of Acas. So it's considered the holiest ground for the god of the sun and flame.
I see. Interesting.
It's been a while since anyone's been by to pick up what's in the tithe barn. It's, you know, a little, I mean, except for what was eaten or stolen, it's a little more full than normal.
We'll just file that away for later.
Listen, I just want to divert the RP here and give you a little bit of time to think.
Sure.
Let me say this. I got this air purifier after not having one for years. And you know, on older shows, Okeanos, Winter's Edge, Cancol, I was coughing a lot. And at some point I was like, that's it. There must be a ton of dust down here. So I put this air filter in. It's been running for 3 months. It beeped at me this morning. And the manual said that when it beeps at you, it's the first of the 3 times you clean the filter with a vacuum cleaner. You know, you get the little hose attachment, you clean it off. So I opened it up and I was like, is this normal? Is this a normal amount of stuff on this thing? So I have a Dyson vacuum that has the clear plastic. You can see the amount of dust. So just this thing was more than the one vacuum's container full. Yeah. And I was like, man, no wonder I've been able to breathe and not feel like I have a really dry mouth all the time. Now that I don't know whether I hope it's that bad next time to indicate that it's all being pulled out still, or whether I don't want it to be like that and it's all gone now. But one way or the other, it's doing its job.
Yep. Working hard.
My God, it was fucking disgusting. I can't believe that's been floating around in the air down here. All right, Tavros, you've been sitting for a while. Let's assume that you're seated in, I wouldn't call it it is a tavern, but it's not a tavern in the way most people think of fantasy taverns, right? There's no rooms in this tavern. It's a place for people to sit down, get a drink, get a warm meal, and talk.
Well, because most people in fantasy games, they go, oh, the tavern, it also has a place to stay. Like,
yes.
No. A tavern is just a bar.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bar/restaurant usually.
So let's say that you've been gathering your information from here.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't really have an inn here. It's a little small town for an inn. The tavern, however, is where you're getting a lot of brisk talk. It's very early 90s. Everyone's very early 90s US politics, sorry. No one's like, you know what? Fuck you and fuck fuck your whole family. I'm going to set your house on fire if you disagree with me. You know, they see both sides of the issue and they're both going, oh, okay, all right, well, you know, I don't see it that way. I think we should back Ragos, but I respect your opinion and I won't kill your family over it.
Yeah, I respect your opinion, but I'm not going to change my own.
Yes, exactly. That's happening all over the tavern on a variety of issues, most of them related to either how new leadership should be formed in the town is a big discussion, whether they should fall under the aegis of Ragos, whether they should commit themselves fully to the Orcasian Empire, whether they should go to Carcas, whether they go to Independent. That's like a four-way discussion that's going nowhere quickly because everybody's like, well, the benefits would be, and the other side goes, but what about the cost? Also big on the discussion is meat. There has been a substantial lack of fresh meat in the town, even before the bandits came and basically claimed all of the good food for themselves. There's some worry among the parents here that the kids aren't getting enough, you know, to eat, and that, you know, the people who work the sulfur pools, you know, it's generally assumed that they should get more food than the others and of better quality just because they've been working these pools for centuries and they know those guys live less longer than everybody else. They got a hard life.
Yeah. So can I get like a gauge?
Just as a reminder, it's really tough to read anybody's expression because they're all talking inside their mouth like this.
Can I get like a percentage of people who are for joining Ragos?
All right, I will let you make an insight check for this, but I want you to know that by far the largest percentage of people here are going to be undecided.
Sure.
Okay, it's close to like 30% Ragos.
Okay.
One in three, a little bit less than that, people believe. And you know how sometimes you get surveys, right? And you're like, oh, so 1 in 3, right? But then someone's like, but that 1 in 3 really believes really strongly. Like, you know, the other 7 for 10 don't really care that much. These 3 for 10, they really want Ragos.
Yeah. Like so much so that they're like upset that I came and killed Castolfo, or no?
So Castolfo he's not a Ragos henchman.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Castolfo was defeated by some of Ragos's men and was forced out of the place he used to be in.
I see.
With that high of an insight, I'll let you know. You hear a little talk about where Castolfo came from. He and his men, the Paper Moon Clan, used to operate out of a nearby town called Atimony. But then a gang called the Endor Owls showed up. And, you know, they were defeated quickly, right? But it wasn't like, we're going to kill all of you in the middle of the night. It was like, all right, we have swords to your throat. You leave, you get to keep your lives. You mouth off, you stay here, we kill you right now.
Okay.
So they accepted exile from the Endor Owls rather than death.
Okay.
You know what? I'll do a little bit of show instead of tell. I believe you have also seen and are a fan of the film Reign of Fire.
I am, yes.
There's the scene where they're telling the story of Star Wars, right? And they're like, I just came up with, and they do like, yeah. So that's what's happening. Is you're watching essentially the town barker, the town guy who knows stuff and tells people about it, doing a recreation of like, oh no, please don't kill me, I'm Castolfo. And then the leader of the Endor Owls is just like, if you leave now, you will not die. But if you do not leave now, you will die. And Castolfo's like, no, I will leave and take my dark magic and all of my evil henchmen elsewhere so that we can torment others. Dude, Here is me, Gustavo, walking away. Oh my, look at this town right here. It smells really bad. Let's go kill all their leaders. That's where the story ends.
So I think the first thing Tavros is going to do is, well, so what is the Dawn Agreement's relationship with the Arcasian Empire and the Holy Kingdom of Carcass?
So the Dawn Agreement is based out of the Arcasian Empire, and a lot of its highest ranking personnel, or let's say most influential ranking, it's not really a ranking kind of organization. All imperial. That said, the organization was literally formed by the Carcassians' top general, who was still loyal, who was basically a prisoner at the time, and the Arcasians were like, I don't know if we should go, like, should we go confront Jubilix? Now's not the time. And she was like, bitch, I'm walking that way. You can come with me. I'm gonna kill him. And, like some of the Arcasian soldiers are like, that sounds good, man. I'm tired. It's been 5 years. We know where he is. Let's go get him. And like people started flooding out of the city behind her. So it's an international organization, or it tries to be. It really does. It tries to be. You've heard rumors that at least one of its agents was sent afar to the southwest into the Strong Storm Sea in order to try to recruit some of the monstrous races. It's got some elven ties. I mean, the elves really were the final word in the battle against Jubilix. It was very, Lord of the Rings. The elves showed up and everyone was like, oh, well, I didn't know you had such a big army. Okay, well, all right, let's do this. All hope is lost. Oh, the elves are here. Okay, all right. It's still bad, but at least the elves are here.
So I think Tavros is going to try and get them to basically elect either a new council of elders or a new elder or someone that he can deal with. And
I mean, as long as you're going to be interfering in local politics, is there a way you'd like to tilt things? You want to put your hand on the scales here?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would like to tilt things either in favor of, they have close ties with the Holy Kingdom of Carcass.
Yeah.
But I think the Arcasian Empire has a closer, city.
Sure. That's because Carcass is literally the only city in Carcass. It's just a bunch of small villages.
Yeah.
All across the land.
So I would like to try, I'm not going to go so far as rig an election, right? But I will definitely campaign in favor of those who are looking to ally with either the Arcasian Empire or the Holy Kingdom of Carcass.
Okay, this is going to be a multi-day affair. This is not okay. Within 3 or 4 days, you've started. I assume that you're doing things like helping someone chop wood, right? Or just you got to find something to do. And here's a private time to talk to people. Running tasks for townspeople. After 3 days after Castolfo dies, a messenger from Ragos arrives to do what you're doing, but in the opposite direction. They want a very pro-independence, pro-Ragosian point of view. Like if you don't join our kingdom, is any kingdom really worth joining? Maybe if we aren't your choice, what if no choice is the best, right? You could be good trade partners. You could be our premier outlet to the local road system. Wouldn't the growth be? So I'd like you to roll against there. So this person is a young woman. She's elven, right? So young woman really means about 80.
Yeah.
Wearing forest green pants and a white shirt with a tunic over it. Basically unarmed though. Only comes with a knife and a traveler's backpack. when I say backpack, I'm talking like Boy Scout hiking affair with, you
Mhm.
know,
The
like
one
a
that, like,
sleeping
comes
bag.
up above the
you
back of
know,
your head.
yeah. When I
Yeah.
say backpack, I mean like a full affair. I don't mean like something you use to hold 2 school books and your pencils.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're talking like a hiking pack.
So she's not a bard strictly, but she does seem to be a pretty good debater. Like,
Mhm.
she definitely tries to mix both logic and emotion into all of her appeals to the people. So let's do this.
All right.
Well, never mind.
I think Tavros has a little bit of extra pull, as he's the dude who showed up and
Yeah.
slaughtered Castolfo and his men.
Look, it's not that her message isn't accepted by the local people, right?
Mhm.
But you do literally have God on your side at this point. Like,
yeah. With the scene as I came out of the tithe barn and
yeah, there was no
God
subtlety involved in that one.
Yeah, no.
It's not that people agree with you that the Oricasian Empire is the best choice overall. It's that they're thinking strongly of defense in the future,
Mhm.
right? And if you're saying that the Oricasians could commit troops and like maybe even bunker somebody here, that would be a big deal for them because they don't have professional soldiers.
Mhm.
You know, they're chemists. And not the kind of chemists that like make firearms and throw bombs at you. They're the kind of chemists that are like, oh my, wow, this unusual crystal, when you taste it, it's like an artificial sweetener. Incredible. We've just invented, what's the?
Splenda.
We just invented Splenda. Amazing. And we only had to lose 2 lab assistants in the process.
Yeah.
They're that kind of chemists.
Yeah. Because when they ate the crystal, they died.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. More chemistry jokes will be coming further ahead in this episode. Okay, so this woman whose name is Genevieve, she doesn't leave the town, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like she feels like she's been defeated and must leave. She's going to stay here and try to convince them that, what if you reconsidered? And she's going to do what you did, mm-hmm. which is to like run small errands here and basically try to establish herself as, not a local, but like a friend.
Yeah, just a helpful, trustworthy bandit.
She doesn't seem like any bandit you've ever met.
Sure.
She definitely doesn't seem like she's ever killed anybody. Mm-hmm. Her knife skills are best for like paring an apple, perhaps.
So I would like to speak with her about
Genevieve. All right.
Yeah, Genevieve. About her employer.
So this is as this council has like been put into place. I think probably the leader of it is your boy whose name you never learned. His wife is like the head of the council now.
Perfect.
She's got that like powerful, recently widowed woman mentality behind her where everybody's like, it's hard to go against her, it would be very impolite.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, friends at home, if you don't know this thing, I don't know if it's an American trope, but it's a thing that happens here where, I don't know, like, people can't say no. Mm-hmm. Genevieve is sitting on like it's a dwarven invention. It's like a fold-outable camp stool. People lose their minds over this technology. They can't figure out how all the hinges and swiveling works. She's like whittling a bear, a 6-legged bear. She says, Tavros. Right. We haven't spoken yet. I'm Genevieve. I'm emissary for the king.
Yes, very well. It's nice to meet you. I am Tavros the Bull, also an emissary for the Dawn Agreement.
Yes, not for a king, I think.
Well, if you have to call yourself a king, are you really a king? Who else acknowledges his royalty?
I called him a king. I don't know what he calls himself beyond Ragos. We
And
recognize him as king. I think you're trying to start a semantics debate with a straw man argument, and that's pretty rough, guy. You want to take a seat and maybe start again?
I don't think so.
Okay, you want to at least take a seat? You're making me kind of nervous there.
Very well.
You're a little heavily armed for a debate.
I don't think Tavros carries his sword around the town.
Okay.
Like he maybe has like his hand.
What about
on
the
him.
other sword?
Oh, the
yeah,
flow?
You forgot that you have a whispering blade made of magma.
Yeah, the lava sword.
Yeah, he does not. Listen, this sword does not want to be left behind anywhere. You leave this thing behind, you're literally never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, no, I think so. So I think Tavros will carry that with him, but it's not like at a place where he could readily use it. It would take an action to like unbind,
like over the shoulder draw, but like at a weird angle.
No, more like it's like like over his shoulder, but it's got like the sword belt like wrapped around the hilt.
Ah, I see. Okay. All right. You sit down and Genevieve just eyes you warily while continuing to carve her bear.
I'm curious that you travel so lightly armed and armored. These are dangerous.
I think it's curious that you travel wearing plate mail, carrying a sword the size of a man's arm. It's not that dangerous around here. There's peace in these lands, really.
This town's elders were slaughtered by bandits.
Well, where are those bandits now?
They are dead. I killed them.
Sounds like it's peaceful in this area. I came because I heard that Castolfo was dead. That means an opportunity.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure your king would like to move in and secure a powder base in the area.
It sounds so disgustingly petty when you put it like that. What about protecting people? What if what you call a power base, we call family?
Then I would ask where he was when Castolfo moved in and slaughtered this village's elders.
There's a lot of directions and not as much unity as a full professional army.
I am not a full professional army. I am a single man.
I've heard of you, Tavros the Bull. You might be a single man, but you're a champion for the god of war, are you not?
This is true.
I think you're hardly as dangerous as one single man.
Perhaps.
These people that I work with, that I owe my loyalty to, we're not professional soldiers. We don't have God on our side giving us special powers. We're just people who are tired of being pushed around by larger powers, people who took from us and didn't give us anything for it. Other people from far away come here to fight their battles, and we don't have to accept that anymore. Ragos, he's one man, but he's powerful. He can't be everywhere at once, and neither can all of our militia. I'm just going to say it. We don't have the weapons, the experience, or the training. Castolfo was a very serious threat. We managed to push him out because we outnumbered him and we caught him by surprise. Something I understand that you also did. You know, not the outnumbering, just the surprise.
Yes.
Before we stopped Castolfo, he did things. Castolfo on a horse on an open field. They say he got 12 men in 1 minute. Can you do that, Tavros? Can you kill 12 men in 1 minute? From across the field?
Not from across the field, no.
If we didn't come here to kill Castolfo, it's because we didn't think we could kill Castolfo. Not without losing a lot of lives. And I'm sorry for what happened to the people here. But that doesn't mean we won't protect them from here on out now that that threat is over.
And so tell me why they should, why things would be better under Ragos's rule
Tell me
than
why.
anyone else's.
I mean, how about unity? How about a single voice speaking out? How about when somebody tries to come and fight in our lands, we just say no? How about trade? What if instead of the dwarves bartering against each village, we just all spoke with one voice? We got the best deals possible. I mean, look, the owls, we don't know what it takes to run a region. Ragos isn't born a king. He doesn't have the sort of schooling that a noble or a senator does. We're figuring this out, Tavros. But there are things that we can do.
Can I
things that we
check?
have to do. Yeah,
insight check this lady.
Yeah, but what are you insight checking for?
To see whether she whether this is something that she truly believes will happen, or whether this is like you know, whether this is propaganda, right?
Okay. It's a mix. I mean, she hopes it will happen.
Mm-hmm. Starting a nation is harder than you think it is. When people come to fight on your lands, you will need soldiers to fight them off. There is not just a, oh, well, how about we don't? When the other side is armed and armored and ready for a fight.
Offering your services?
No. But if Ragos will be willing to negotiate with the Dawn Agreement, I can perhaps be their representative here.
But what is that? Look, I've heard of this Dawn Agreement, right? Scholars. What power do they have over the Empire or the Holy Kingdom? If we negotiate with them, don't we still have to negotiate with everybody else? Or will they just accept the Dawn Agreement's word?
The Dawn Agreement has influence in these places that they can turn ears in your direction.
Make a persuasion check against her insight. Okay.
Ooh, so close. So close.
Yeah, so look, she believes that you believe that, but she also believes that, you know, they don't have the power that you think that they do.
Sure. And you know what, honestly, I don't know if they have the power.
But that's the thing. That's the whole thing about the Dawn Agreement. We don't know if they have the power or not. They're literally starting out.
I'm just hoping that all of my other agents who went to more diplomacy talky places are doing well.
They're not. And I know you know that they aren't doing well. Henley's literally just like, plotline in RP? No thanks. I'd like to skip to the end, please.
Oh, man.
All right, so she gives you a flat look and she says, look, I know that you believe that, but that's not the way that the world works. When we negotiate, it's not going to just be with the Dawn Agreement. It's going to be with the Holy Kingdom. It's going to be with the Empire. It's going to be with the High Kingdom of the Dwarves, and probably the Elves are going to want to get involved too. Nobody likes it when a new kingdom starts up somewhere because it means that somebody's getting less of something.
But wouldn't it be nice to already have friends in these places?
Is that what you're offering?
Perhaps.
What do you want in exchange for friendship?
I'd like to meet Ragos first.
Fine. You good with leaving tomorrow?
I can do that.
You won't need your weapons, but I won't stop you from carrying them.
Very good. I travel everywhere armed. These are dangerous lands, despite what you may think.
I don't think they're going to let you see Ragos armed.
That is fine.
Okay. Like, that's fine. I'll kill them.
Hey, unarmed attack, I can still smite, baby.
That's right. What bullshit. There was this thing about like the highest grade swords master earlier in the year. The dude was like, people were doing like, how many bamboo stands can you chop through? And they were like, 1, maybe 2. And this dude is kneeling and he bows down, and in the process, his hand flicks and he shoots the scabbard back across the room. So now the sword is out, and then he just up, and like a lion just comes down on it and gets all 6. I was like,
holy shit.
Damn, dude. This dude's like 70. He fucking annihilated it, and he didn't even unsheath his sword. He just bloop.
Amazing.
Everybody else is standing and they're like,
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, a good swords master doesn't need to unsheath this sword. The sheath will simply fall away when the time is right.
It's just like anime. You just swing your sword so hard the sheath just disintegrates around it.
Have you seen that, though, where dumbasses are like doing sword swings and the sheath just goes flying and they're like, oh shit.
Yes.
I've seen it in person before, where people didn't realize that, you know, like, the sheath is not magnetically connected or anything.
Yeah,
it's just
not
a loose.
attached. Yeah.
And if you swing hard enough, you're just gonna get angular momentum.
Yep. Oh man.
All right. Do you have food and what? Do you like have travel rations or?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm just making sure you're not expecting Genevieve to feed you on the way.
Yeah, I've got
would feel
like
bad
if 6 days of
they have to send a
rations.
message to the Dawn Agreement. Agents starved to death on our front lawn. Very sorry. Please send hearse. As you are traveling with Genevieve on the first day, you feel your traveler's coin from the Dawn Agreement get warm.
I will grab it.
When you take it out, you get to see like an elven man with glasses on. It's Star Wars hologram, so you know he's tinted blue. Hello, is this Tavros? Tavros
Yes.
T. Bull?
Yes, this is Tavros the Bull.
Middle name, The. Got it. Adding that to the file here. Tavros the Bull. Just wanted to inform you that our files place you somewhat close to the Oricasian Empire. One of our agents there has indicated that there is a massive conspiracy of Jubilix worshippers who are finding magic users, practitioners like yourself, and torturing them or draining their magic somehow. So make sure to take care. And, you know, if you're in the area around Stormwall, maybe you could respond.
Very well. I will see what
you're
I
on your
can
way
do.
to Stormwall. Okay, so where are you at right now?
I am north of Stormwall, but if I can, I will.
So,
head
like,
that
you're
way.
at Silvermarsh then?
North of Silvermarsh.
You're north of. How far north of Silvermarsh?
Oh, it was like what, like 3 days? 2 days?
No, you're like a week and a half.
A week and a half? Okay.
Yeah.
Quite far.
Each of these hexes is like 3 days.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. About the week and a half.
So it's just like, so it'll be a month before you get to Stormwall then.
If I leave immediately, yes.
I think the situation's going to be resolved before then. Maybe you should just stay on mission here. But looking here, it looks like your mission is to assassinate Bandit King Ragos, correct?
I prefer the term deal with.
Sure. Let me just update the file here. Just scratching that out. Deal with. Got it. Understood. You want to put neutralize in there or anything? Or okay, deal with fine. Deal with fine.
There are many
Deal with fine.
interpretations of these words that you could have.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I'm with you. Look, let me just say, this is my first time speaking with an agent. I am so honored. And when you return to the Oricasian Empire, if you could just fill out a courtesy card to let the professor know how we're doing here, I would really appreciate it. Name's Operator 29. Thank you so much. Anything else?
I do not believe so.
Okay, well, have a great day, and please enjoy that cloak we sent you. You were the highest priority for that cloak. We really wanted you to have that in particular. There was no one more suited for it than you. Okay, bye. All right, so this conversation was not private, and the whole time, Jin is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that also wasn't my mission. Assassinate the bandit king Acas.
It's not. It's to end banditry in the area.
I just look at her
you
and
might
go,
have noticed, but Operator 29 is not the best at his job.
yeah. Yeah. But I like Tavros just turns, looks at Jennifer and goes, he's new here.
Okay. I'll believe that. That's not a stretch. What is a courtesy card?
To be honest, I am not sure. I have never filled one out before. It may be something new that that command has instituted.
Okay.
Some sort of performance review, perhaps.
Oh, performance review. I have not done one of those in years. I don't envy you. She starts walking again and she goes, what does your performance review even look like? Like, good swing angle?
I think my performance
grip
review
force
is returned alive. Check mark.
Wow, they have such low expectations for you.
They usually get the more dangerous assignments.
Well,
or at least physically so.
If it's not too unusual to ask, or if it's not allowed, you don't have to answer. But what's it like, being an agent of a god?
Oh, being a paladin of victory.
Oh, so you're a paladin. Okay, all right.
Yes. I do not know anything else. So I could have nothing to compare my life to. But it suits me. I travel places, fight people, usually evil people.
What is evil, really?
You can ask 10 different people and you will get 10 different answers.
I'm not asking 10 different people. I'm asking the person who is apparently the arbiter of choosing that. What do you think evil is, since you're the one who kills the evil people?
It is not I who am the arbiter of what is evil and what is not. It is victory. It is through victory that I can.
Wow. You could tell she did not like that answer.
Yeah. It says, I mean, I have been granted the abilities by God.
But just because you've been granted these abilities, shouldn't you still have the ability to make your own choices? Shouldn't it trust you enough to make those choices? Are you really such a man that you just go where you're told and commit violence in the name of another?
I go where I am called, yes.
This is, yeah.
Whether I commit violence there or not, that is a completely separate issue.
If you were getting a performance review from Jennifer, it would just be straight F's all up and down here, remedial.
In most cases, I am free to do as I will. But in the face of great evil, victory grants me the ability to sense it and to deal with it and to combat it.
She doesn't have anything more to say to that. Three days later, you find yourself wandering upon a caravan. One that you recognize, actually. Not that you've ever seen it personally, but given the dwarven markings around it, it's one of the few hill dwarf caravans that operate out of Deir Barim that's allowed to go elsewhere and do business.
Okay.
When I say caravan, do not think only of large wagons with merchants on it, right? There are a lot of independent riders on horses. There's a lot of people on foot here. There's a carnival atmosphere. There are wonders to be shown. I wouldn't say a ringmaster, but definitely someone who organizes plays to be played out by players before the scene.
Interesting.
And you've caught them like repairing some wagon reels, doing maintenance, taking downtime. This is not carnival atmosphere. This is their day off as you wander up upon them. But they are very welcoming as you approach, and you can smell delicious, rare dwarven treats which you have not had for many years.
Excellent.
Broiled rock corn, some deep fried meats, mushroom ale.
Fantastic.
There's also a specific carriage that is quite different than the rest of the wagons. It seems to only have a single passenger who never leaves it when you're approaching. And the markings on the outside indicate that this is not a hill dwarf, that this is a mountain dwarf, and that they are a warrior for hire of great renown, given the markings on the side of it, like a mercenary. But the other markings indicate that they have cave adaptation, and so they wear a blindfold, and not to disturb them on their sleeping schedule, which is different than everybody else's because they don't sleep by the sun.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let me be clear here. What you're looking at is a black tinted windowed van, essentially, with a guy inside who's got some very specific demands as to how to hire him.
Yeah. And on all of the doors it says, "Do not open, dangerous."
Yeah, basically. That said, warriors like this are rare, like yourself. He may not have magical powers, but certainly he is a champion of the dwarven people. And for him to not be a hill dwarf up here, he must have special permission to operate on the surface. That said, you're being lured in for cheap mushroom ale. And
absolutely.
We've got some leftover broiled corn roots here, guys. You want to try some? And Genevieve is just like, great. I don't know how to eat this. I'm just going to hold it between two hands and very delicately.
Yeah. Tavros digs into the dwarven food, man. That's what he grew up on.
You know how you get information out of other people by rolling a persuasion check or an investigation? The opposite is happening to you and Genevieve right now.
I see.
The caravan is subtly interrogating the two of you to find out where you've been, what you've done, who you are, and most importantly, what it is you need that they might be able to sell you. Whetstones, magical potions, a box with no locks, a lock with no box, impenetrable armor, an impenetrable armoire. You've never heard of the impenetrable armoire?
No.
It takes 4 men to lift it and bring it out to you. And I'm talking big burly guys, right? And
big burly hill dwarfs.
Yeah, the caravan master is explaining none have ever penetrated the impenetrable armoire. And people bring out huge, comically oversized hammers, and the 4 dwarves are hitting it, and it's not even a mark on its dark wood. All right, the paint doesn't even chip. If you're looking for something to carry your goods in from one location to another, friend. By the way, this whole conversation is taking place in Dwarven. If you're looking for something to store your arms and armor or your clothing, just to make sure it gets from A to B without any Z happening to it, you need an impenetrable armoire. You can't get something like this anywhere else. This is a Deir Barim special. Now, you seem like a traveler who might need something like this. I mean, look at all that metal off of you. You got to have some place to store it, don't you? The impenetrable armoire. In case of danger, you can lock the inside and hide inside of it in order to keep yourself out of trouble.
Until they throw it in the lake and you sink to the bottom.
As long as you still got something inside to breathe, you'll be okay.
I do not have 4 burly hill dwarfs to carry it around for me. But I will
it's meant
take
to go
a look
in a
at
wagon, you know. But yeah, it's a travel. It's an armoire. It's for traveling.
Mm-hmm. I will take a look at your potions.
All right. Now, look.
What do they have for sale?
You've been having this slight issue. All right. Do you remember what it is?
That I don't have any fucking money.
No, that Castolfo cursed you so that you would forever have grit in your teeth.
That's right. Yeah. That I would have a piece of like whatever stuck in my teeth.
Yes. So these potions here, there might be a potion of healing or two between them, right? But most of these potions here are potions of like getting rid of warts, ending curses, enhanced stamina. A potion that theoretically makes you jump higher. A potion that lets you see in the dark. There is a potion that allows you to talk to beavers among the potions listed here.
I see. It's a very interesting spread of potions. How much for the one to end the curses?
Oh, this one? I mean, what kind of curse do you have? Let me just say, it's pretty weak curses that this, I would not want to sell you something. A dwarf craftsman keeps his word, although theoretically, I technically bought this in the Oricasian Empire from the Wizard's Reject pile, so.
Well, it was a death curse.
Well, this is not going to help you then.
All right.
But he slaps you on the shoulder. Buddy, you got problems I can't help you with. By the way, to slap you on the shoulder, you have to get on top of a wagon and... Your Dwarven's pretty good for, and he says a really rude word in Dwarven for outsider.
Yeah.
Ferner.
It's like, I actually grew up in D&D5E.
Oh, hey, we got a dwarf friend here, everybody. And somebody brings you over a pint-sized mug of mushroom beer, and everybody's all of a sudden like, hey, look at this, our good buddy. Dwarf friend, you should have told us that from the start. What does dwarf friend even sound like in Dwarven?
No idea.
I assume it's got to sound really impressive, though.
Let's see. So this warrior that is traveling with you.
You're interested.
I am.
They call him the Black Hammerer.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was an executioner in Deir Barim. He used to break people's kneecaps before the execution to make sure the hammer was blunt enough, It's really a lot of I've only heard him talk about it a couple times, but there's an angle to it. If the hammer isn't flat enough on the front, you don't get that perfect snapping.
How exactly do they execute people in Deir Barim?
No, that's what I'm saying. He started by breaking their kneecaps to make sure the hammerhead was flat enough before he smashed their heads.
Gotcha. Okay.
After enough smashes, you could get imperfections, right? Dents.
Gets a little uneven.
Listen, you may not be a dwarf, but you know our ways.
I do.
If it's not perfectly flat, it's not good enough. We don't stand for imperfections. So he developed the kneecap test. Actually, it's kind of become standard now, It's humane, really. I know, it might sound unusual, but if you're screaming in pain about your kneecaps, you probably aren't worried that you're about to get your head smashed.
You have a point.
Yeah. It's dark, but you have to do what you can in these trying times, So, you're looking to hire the Dark Hammerer.
Perhaps. I was curious as to why such a warrior would be traveling with his caravan, but
That's a good story. Let's sit down and talk about it. And as he says that, he pulls out a pipe. And as the pipe smoke goes out, you can tell he's doing some bardic shit because there's a silent image that appears. And then the screen goes black and you level up.
All right. Sweet.
We'll tell the tale of the Black Hammerer next time. You better hope that you got some way to entice the Black Hammerer into your service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He ain't working for cloaks.
Yep. Too bad I don't have that big bag of gold.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, the good news is the end of the month is soon, so we'll do another round of voting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the options will be an even bigger bag of gold. Oh, man. I'm going to include some weird shit for the next one, too. The guy who got the frog class hasn't even used it yet.
Ah, man.
I personally designed that frog clasp. Did you roll for health yet?
No, I'm still trying to figure out how to like level myself up on the sheet.
I would level in D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay, and then
we'd run the update. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so here is my hit dice roll.
Don't say it out loud. Just make a noise equivalent to what the die roll means. Yeah. It's not that. Yeah, you know, it's not.
Yeah, it's not great though. It's not great. It's
sure. It's not. Nor is it like,
With my Constitution bonus, it's it's not bad.
Yeah, I'll buy that. You take another level in Paladin?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. I just saw someone on Twitter say VTubing is having an anime Sona. I agree with that.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm now even more excited to definitely not be a VTuber. You know, obviously, if I was a VTuber, I could never reveal my true identity or be traced back to my real life in any way. But if I was a VTuber, that would be debuting soon. Oh man, here's Rad telling me to stop making attacks on Christmas.
Yeah, your war on pushing Christmas back into December.
Look, there are 12 days of Christmas. Okay, it's very clear. It's a long-held tradition. It's not. I'm not even trying to push Christmas back in December. It just doesn't need to be in October. Okay.
They wrote a song about it, the 12 days of Christmas.
The 12 days of Christmas, exactly. That's why Christmas starts on December 13th, so you can get to the 25th on the 12th day, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
If you start Christmas in December, you're too soon. It's like starting 4th of July in March. Yeah. All right. You got any projects you're doing? Anything you need to announce to the people?
Not really. No,
right.
I'm just keeping on. I'm painting my BattleTech minis, but that's a personal project, not a professional.
I still
project.
haven't even opened my Wave 2 yet. Who knows what I got in those boxes?
I'm about to get my Wolf's Dragoons Assault Star package in the mail as a Barnes and Noble exclusive.
What's that like? I can never remember the Wolf Dragoons exclusive. What, Hoplite?
So it is.
That's not going to be an Assault Star.
All right, let's see here.
I thought it was the Annihilator, but
yeah. So it's there's an Annihilator. There's a Mad Cat, an Archer, a Rifleman, and I think a Blackjack.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's an interesting loadout.
That's a Blackjack doing an Assault Star.
I mean, everybody's got to have their scout, right?
Is it at least a BJ2?
It definitely looks like a non-standard.
All right.
Non-standard loadout for it.
Well, we at least see you in 2 weeks for Farming Simulator 22. Second one.
I'm going to do my best to be there.
Okay, that's good because we're going to be a little bit more structured. I'm going to pass power around to people a little bit more. We are going to have real corporate rankings. And apparently the beginning of the game sucks because you can only grow like 3 crops until you start in August, and you can't grow anything really good until January. So I don't know what they were thinking. Yeah. You can't plant any of like wheat or anything. It's just like grass.
You can't even do like winter wheat.
I don't know if that exists. So we're playing with seasons on, and it has very specific times that you get growth and harvesting.
Because like in the real world, you can plant winter wheat, and it germinates over the winter and then grows in the spring.
I don't know yet. We're probably going to be doing a lot of jobs for other people. You know what I mean? Like
doing
and not transport, not the fucking transport jobs. They're cursed. They're cursed.
We just flick all the boxes off of the forklifts and backs of trucks.
Oh, if only we were that skilled, but we aren't.
Yeah. It's like, all right, let's floor it, and then slam on the brakes, and it'll slide out the back.
All right. We'll find out how your leveling went, any new powers you have, the story of the Black Hammer, and whether you actually get to meet the so-called Bandit King Ragos next episode in 2 weeks. Thank you, audience. Have a good time zone.